Hello again everyone. So with this SketchUp video, we'll apply series of SketchUp extensions to subdivide a particular solid object into multiple uh, levels, into multiple layers or multiple levels. So basically we'll try to draw floors based on the geometric or the topographic shape of our object. So first things first is for us to draw our object or the geometric shape of our object. First is for us to draw a rectangle. Any dimension would do. This is just for a reference. Using Bezier spline at 5 angle points. Create our sections. Then right click to exit. Erase the unnecessary sections. Then create again. Put it in a group. Create a multiple copy at 15-meter distance. So any distance would do. So this is just my reference for me to emphasize the section farther. 8x to have 8 copies. Resize and to the desired scales. Okay. Third one. Fourth one. Okay. So never mind those other layers. You just have to copy this 4 by rotate, then control. Okay. Oh no. By rotate, then control. Transfer them to the other side. Okay, that would do. They are aligned. Make sure that they are aligned with each other. Then let's use Curviloft. Remember how did we use Curviloft from the previous video? Just press Curviloft loft by spline. Okay, specifically Curviloft by spline. It draws a solidified section on a much more complicated curve lines or sections. So Curviloft. Then do not forget to specify use segments. I'm okay with that segment. Then press check to process. Okay. Then one mistake that I've committed last time is for me to remove the other parts. No. So let's move out the Curviloft section. Delete this one. Delete. And of course, copy or move again this one based on the axis. So that is one wonderful section, don't you think? Okay. Create a solid face on this part of our figure. Okay. Then do not forget to reverse. You must saw the white face of the object. Reverse and reverse. Okay. This is one important thing when we are splicing or slicing the solid object into multiple layers of specified dimensions, which is later on beneficial when you are drawing topographic figures or topographic landscapes, specifically for architecture. Okay, so how we're going to do that? We should make now a solid object. So with this one, you can never splice this one given that the interior part of the section is hollow. Okay, so we need to solidify or make this object as a solid object. So how are we going to do that? Go with the object, triple click, then FIXIT 101. This is another extension from your SketchUp website. By performing FIXIT 101, we will then make this object as a solid material or a solid object. So, okay, ulitin natin. Fix it. Okay, that is already a solid object. So without making it a solid object, just like what we did on this figure, so i-solid natin ulit to. FIXIT 101. Okay. Then we can never perform slicing. Okay. So we will then tawag na dito, set our slicer. Select a group that we're going to slice. So we use this group, slice it up, set your axis. So if you're going to cut it on the z-axis, on the blue line, which is basically your blue line, so we will cut it vertically along the z-axis. So if also you want to cut it along the z-axis, you just have to change it along the z-axis, y and z-axis, or combination. Okay, so one thing good when it comes to slicing it on the z-axis is for us to either draw a topographic drawing or a topographic map on its orthogonal figure, and so forth and so on. Okay, we'll try to slice it up on this distance, inset at end. Okay, text height more or less, that is okay. Flatten, no. Add references, start and end. I forgot to measure the height. So height from 0 to 22,196. From 0 origin to 22,196. Okay, slices or gap. Let's try using gap. Then okay, this might take a while. Add the outline of adjacent slices. You may press yes or you may press no. It's up to you. This may take a while due to my processor, so you might want to wait a little bit on this one based on the type of computer you're using. So now, after performing SLICER5 or slice on a solid figure, this is how it will look like after performing multiple slices. Those are your trash figures. So you might as well delete them. You no longer need them. So this is our cut sections with gaps. So whenever you are performing terrain analysis or geological mapping or topographic drawings, might as well use this one in placing your geometric figures or placing your structures later on. Or if you're going to create a structure with multiple floors, might as well delete with multiple floors whose which has an organic section or organic shape. Might as well perform SLICER5. So you could then delete those unnecessary floors which provide the gap of your structure. Okay. Yeah. So this is now your slicer 5 using gap. So this is a well emphasized section. So if you want, you might as well also add a color in this one or a material to emphasize whether if it is a soil, a concrete floor, or a ground. Okay. Let's retain those layers and let's say pour in material of soil or grass. Okay. Then if ever you're going to place your structure, you might want to use and review the lecture on sandbags tool, to extrude to stump an object with a organic material or to project an object on a organic material. Have the same function with the 1001 bit tools as well as the JHS power bar. So let's try the same procedure with this other figure that we have created recently. So using this, again, FIXIT 101 if you forgot to make it a solid figure. Then go with this solid object. Then let's try using y-axis. So let's try using y-axis. So that is a slice. Add reference, no. Height of 22,000 or 20,000. Flatten, no. Text height 12 mm. Okay. So add the outlines and adjacent slices. So this time we'll press no on this one. Again, this might take a while depending on the processor that you're using on your computers. So let me try this to do it again. So again, select your solid object by SLICER5. So let's try cutting it along the y-axis. You see your y-axis is the green line. Spacing, set that as 1000 to make a gap along the slicing section of your object. Might as well do the spacing higher than of the thickness. Then insert starting at 0 to 20,000. So I forgot to check the length because we are dealing with the y-axis. So let's try the length. From 0 to 75 74547 74547. So let's do 74574. What was that again? 74. Tape from 0 to this point. 74519. So 74519. 74519. So by doing this, we will then cut it at a thickness of 500, providing a gap, an offset between those slice thickness of 500 mm to 1000 mm. Okay, up until to the full length of the solid object. Then slice it up. No references, flatten of no, then okay. This might take a while. So after doing so, eto na yung ating figure. So let me try that again. Did not cut the entire section. Add references. Yes. Let's try 80,000. Okay. So this is how it would look like, giving us gap on those cut sections. Okay. So you can see those gaps. So this is how we use Slicer 5 rather than what we did previously from the previous video on creating organic material or creating organic models. So using Slicer 5, we can then immediately cut the solid object into a topographic shape like figure, as you can see here. So you might want to draw this one on a vertical axis. On the Z axis, I should say. So there you go. More or less the same with our last figure over here. So, but with this, we have provided those gaps on our model. Okay. So why is it look like color blue? So because it had follow the Z axis. So if you want or emphasize the figure further, you might want to use your soften edges. So select, go within the group, select the specific group you want to soften, then emphasize soften section. Okay, as you can see here. So there you have it. This is Slicer 5, or using the utilization of SketchUp extension. You delete them already. Utilization of SketchUp extension with Curviloft, BZ Spline. If you want, you could also use JHS Power Bar, also joint push pull extension. But with this, we have only utilizes the BZ Spline, the Curviloft function on spline sections. Then we have the Slicer 5. So I'll see you on the next tutorial videos. Bye bye. Again, we have your Slicer 5 and without the gaps.